Hi guys, this is Dormouse03. This is The Evil Within, Akumu difficulty, chapter 13. So I've sped the first few minutes of this up because there's not a whole lot happening here. Just going around and collecting some stuff, some more goodies from some of these vending machines, so make sure you grab those. Sometimes I forget that that one's back there. But this is kind of a quiet moment here at the beginning of this level before things really start to kick off. So I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about this level. I didn't really have a hard time with this level on this playthrough. And I think that's because when I played through the first time on survival, I died so many times in the first section of this. It wasn't even funny. I found the first area where there are enemies in the apartments to be the hardest part of this level, and that includes the keeper fight, that includes the little trap room that is full of nonsense, and everything else. So that first room there is the one that trips me up the most, and it's because there are a lot of enemies there, and if you're trying to stealth through it, it's pretty difficult to do. Especially on this difficulty where they can see you. And so having suffered through doing that part over and over and over again on survival, I think helped me a lot when I was doing this chapter on Akumu, because I had already sort of figured out the enemy's patterns, and it's a little bit different on this difficulty, but for the most part everything went the same as I really remembered it, and I was able to use the strategies that I had used before. So hopefully the way that I'm going to show you to get through that part will help make things a little bit easier for you. I think it's kind of all about trying to, at least for me, it was all about trying to do stealth as much as I could, but be prepared for things to go badly and know which weapons to use in which situations. So hopefully passing along those tips in that area will help you guys. But I don't know, that may have been just me that felt like that section was the most difficult. Some people may have trouble on the keeper fight at the end. I think I got that one pretty solid, so I think that I'll be able to help you guys there. And the trap room, I don't know. It feels a little bit like a crapshoot. I got through it my first time, and so part of me doesn't like that it happened that way, because what that means is that I didn't get to see some of the things that might happen to you guys when you play through, because I feel like that trap room can probably be a little bit random depending on how the little robots on the ground choose to move. So I'll talk about that more when we get there, but just know that the trap room may cause you more difficulty than it caused me, and I don't know how to help you with that. I'll show you my path through the room and kind of what I do, but it really feels like that's a place where you're kind of at the mercy of the randomness of the game, which is unfortunate. Because really, I mean, ideally, what this guide would be is like a surefire way to, if you do this, you will win. And for some sections, I feel like it is that. And for other sections, it feels like it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit from you, you know, to be able to either use things that work for you or modify things that aren't working for you, and be able to come up with your own strategies. And it it matters whether the game is just kind to you sometimes, which, sometimes it's not. So, in any case, this room, the first thing I do is I go and disarm that trap and quickly get out of there, because that enemy is going to be swiftly moving toward you. And like I said, I try to use, it's a little bit of stealth and a little bit of, oh crap, now what do I do tactics. Or planning for the oh crap, now what do I do moment, so that you know what to do when that happens. So you can generally stab that guy in the back of the head. And on survival, you can stab this guy in the back of the head. But on Akumu, you cannot, because he will turn around and see you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a harpoon, because I know that will knock him over. And then I'm going to burn him. And then I'm going to go and hide and kind of wait and see if any of the other haunted on this level heard any of that and are going to come and investigate. And they do not. So I would say they should not be able to hear that. There shouldn't be any that are close enough to hear that, because you're firing the crossbow, not like the shotgun or something. If you had used a gun, they would have probably heard it. But since we didn't, I think that's what made that okay. So, gonna collect this stuff, and now for the hardest part of this level, which is getting the green stuff out of the locker on the left. Because it wants to put you in that locker, it wants to not let you do it. You're walking around, you're like, I see it, I see the thing, why won't it let me pick it up? Hardest part of the level. So, anyway, I loot these areas as I go, because I think these areas repopulate a little bit. After you move through, I believe if you come back to loot stuff, there are another couple of guys here, and I just didn't want to deal with them, so I waited for that guy to turn his back, and then I snuck up behind him. And now it's 50-50 whether or not that guy on the left is in the position to see you. If he is, have your shotgun ready, just like I did, and put him down. And because I used the shotgun, these guys heard me. And I was going to wait. I thought it was only the one, but it turns out the fake Ruvik guy heard me as well. And so this was actually a fortunate turn of events, because I decided that I was going to go ahead and kill him using the method that I had planned on using anyway, which is a frostbolt. But I was able to get him and the other guy, which was very, very good. Be careful of this bear trap right there. Make sure when you sneak up on the guy that you do it to the right, because you don't want to step in that bear trap. It would not be good for your health. And so if it doesn't go down that way, if you are able to stealth kill the guy that I did stealth kill, and then the guy to the left does not see you, you can kind of hide behind the box, or behind the, I don't know what that is, on the left there, and wait for him to turn around and walk back through this door. And when he does that, you can climb over the railing and stealth kill him. You can use those explosive bolts to blow up that guy, which is different. That guy with the explosive bolts in him is not on survival mode, so if you're coming here from that mode, then he is new. There's a guy on the ground in survival mode that you have to burn, but in this mode it's the one with the explosive bolts, so be aware of that. That's a different enemy placement. And so if by chance you were able to sneak kill the guy that would be patrolling in the area where I'm at right now, you would just hop the railing as he goes back in the door and stealth kill him. And then what I would do is come back through here and do what I'm about to do, because where the guy is that I'm about to sneak up on, in the area where he is, that's where the Ruvik guy is going to be. And so I would do the same thing that I'm doing right now, and sort of sneak up on him and use the freeze bolt. But you would have to be very careful, because there would be the guy on the left with the explosive bolts. And so you kind of would have to have that freeze bolt out and ready, you know, in case you had to get into a spot where he would see you. In fact, it might even be a better idea to go and shoot the guy with the explosive bolts from the hallway where I did, and then kind of hide and wait for them to come investigate where you are in that moment. That may actually work better for you. Just, you know, alter your strategies as necessary. But I would definitely use a freeze bolt on that particular enemy, like I did. Because it will take him out very quickly, and if he does manage to get off that scream attack thing, it'll stop it from happening. If he gets that scream attack off, and you do anything else to him, even like a magnum shot or something, sometimes a magnum shot will not kill him in one hit. And so sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. I think it might depend on how close you are, or if you hit him in the head or not. But if you hit him with a weapon that puts him on the ground so that you then have to burn him, if he's gotten off that attack where the hands are coming out of the ground, that will still be going while you're trying to go in and burn him, and 9 times out of 10 that's going to grab you and kill you. So the freeze bolts are a good alternative for him, because it will also freeze the hands. So that is that area done. The other guy that got caught in the freeze bolt when I shot the Ruvik guy would have been in this room right here. And so you would have had to come around and get him as well. And like I said, I do believe that a couple of guys will spawn in the rooms that you've already been in. So that's kind of why I picked up stuff as I go along. We'll be able to get that key in just a second. But just be aware that if you do go back through those rooms to pick up any stuff that you missed or whatnot, that you need to be on the lookout for a couple more guys, because they may spawn into those first rooms that you move through. So just FYI. We are now going to move down here and get a checkpoint. So, like I was saying before, I think this part that I've done right here was the hardest section for me, personally. Again, that may not be other people's experience, but for me, this was the hardest section of this chapter. And so, now that we've done that, we get a checkpoint and can move on. And so now be aware of this that's coming up right here. This caught me by surprise because I wasn't expecting this enemy to be there. But there is a guy in this hallway who isn't there on the other difficulty. And so look at that. How close was that? I got so lucky. And then I decided to shoot him in the crotch a few times and waste some bullets. So just be aware of that guy there. He probably patrols, and you could probably stealth kill him if you knew that he was there and kind of watched his movements. If anything, you could kill him in fewer shots than I did, because, you know, while it's kind of amusing, shooting the enemies in the crotch doesn't really do too much to kill them effectively. So right here we have one of the keepers. And as soon as he starts to move away, you should be good to go in and start collecting stuff. And so we shot that statue upstairs, and now we're going to be able to pick it up. That's where it was, right up there. And it falls right here. So there's our next key. Alright, so that is kind of this first half of this level done. The first half you can really, it's a little bit slower, or I take it a little bit more slowly, and I'm able to stealth it a little bit, and I feel like conserve some ammo and stuff. And the second half of this chapter is going to be a lot more hectic and use a lot more ammo and resources and stuff, because we're going to be in some battles. Some battles with the environment and some battles with some bosses. So I hope that it's been helping so far, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the second part of Chapter 13.